guys, my name is Wale and welcome to my channel. Let's get on reviewing my first official movie for the channel, Spider-Man Homecoming. It's finally Spider-Man's solo entry within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. What Marvel has been doing for the past 10 years approximately, and I'm pretty excited to have this character in the Marvel Universe because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. The reason for that is many, but mostly is because growing up, like, I could have relate to that character a lot more than any of the other superheroes around there, because as a teenager he goes through all the stuff that a teenager goes through while still having superpowers, and on top of that he come from a broken home, a broken family where he lost his parents and his uncle. That's not a spoiler, that's a character history, as well as he's sort of poor. We see him work his way through a lot of stuff, develop his own technology because he's super bright as well, and tend to talk a lot and talk a lot to himself, which I used to do as well. But yeah, no, for me, it reminded me a lot about myself growing up in high school. For me, I'm really excited that he's finally into the MCU, and he honestly, they did a really good job of grounding the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think better than they did with most other characters. It reminded me of that first experience that we had in the MCU with Iron Man initially. So guys, just let you guys know that this is my non-spoiler review. I'm going to do a spoiler review pretty soon, as well as I'm going to do a reviews online, as well as what I would also be doing is comparing where this Spider-Man, where Homecoming fits into the Spidey pantheon of live action movies out there, okay? Because there's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which I love dear to my heart, as well as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but I'm not going to make any more comparison beyond that here. Spider-Man Homecoming is directed by director John Watts, produced by Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal over at Sony. It stars Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Zendaya, Marissa Tomei, Jacob Batalon, as well as Michael Keaton. He's playing the villain Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. So moving on to the good stuff. You guys are here to find out what I think about the movie, right? It wasn't that good. Didn't enjoy it. Yeah, right, because that contradicts everything I just said before. I loved it. Like, honestly, I loved it. Tom Holland was superb in this movie. No, he was amazing. No, even better. He was frigging spectacular in this movie. One, he's so young but was able to keep up to par with the likes of Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Keaton and carry this big tentpole summer blockbuster MCU movie on his shoulders. He had you believing that he was both Peter Parker and Spider-Man at the same time, and it's pretty amazing job that he did that so seamlessly, so flawlessly. Like, I really loved him as a character. I'm looking forward to seeing what more he does, not just in the MCU, but what Tom do in general. He's really amazing. Congratulations. Michael Keaton was awesome as Vulture. Like, he bring a attitude to the character that, if you read Vulture in the comics, so if he's this weird older character in the movie, that did such an amazing job bringing him to life and bringing him into a reality where his costume makes sense, his motivation makes sense. And that was really like drive the movie, is the fact that we have these two competing ideology. One is, will go all out to protect and support his family, and the other is this young kid who grew up looking at the Avengers, emulating them, wanting to be like them, and these two worlds colliding is just gonna make for one heck of a movie. Tony Stark was in this movie as well, aka Robert Downey Jr., aka the Iron Man himself. This take on Tony Stark I really did like, because before we saw him fight with himself and his demon, yeah, we saw him battle it out with Nick Fury as well as with Captain America, but this time we see him struggling to find a way on how to motivate and coach and groom the next generation of superhero coming up. Because he's Tony, he want to do a lot more, but he then have to remember that he gotta also be protective as well. So he's like a parent. Tony Stark is a father in this movie, right? And that plays so nice between them, and made a lot of sense for the evolution of that character. And everything he did in all the previous movies just keep adding and adding up to it. But he didn't take away from Tom Holland carrying this movie. Tomei plays the younger Aunt May. Have mercy, you called me. This is the first time we've seen this young of an Aunt May on the big screen, and it works. It works pretty well. She's dealing with the death of Uncle Ben, once again another spoiler, as well as living within the MCU universe and growing up a young guy who you gotta be protective of because stuff happens. So telling him, if you see something, run away, and trying to mold him into becoming something great, and trying to do that while holding down a steady job and paying the bills and taking care of a teenager is not an easy task. Okay, but she did a really awesome job. Good job for that. We have Jacob Balatun playing Ned Leeds. They played well together. They worked off each other. They had a nice thing. You could see that the characters mesh well together and the actors enjoy the time there. You could see the fun and the love coming out on the film. Zendaya plays Michelle. This was the only character that I find didn't get enough of development. There was a few issues that I had with the character in the movie. Overall motivation. Peter's love interest, Liz Elaine, played by Laura Harriet, who did a really fantastic job. It was really nice, this high school love story. I really enjoyed it. I believe her motivation, I believe Peter's motivation. Like, I went through this myself in high school. Like, we all had that one person that we had a huge crush on, and we didn't know how to talk to them. And imagine having superpowers and still not knowing how to talk to them. And I love that we was able to get her perspective on that relationship as well. And there's a huge spoiler for her character as well within the movie. The story itself is pretty basic. Peter is trying to live up to the expectation of being an Avenger. He wants to be an Avenger, while at the same time, Tony trying to keep him away from that role as much as possible. Vulture is, on the other hand, selling Shatari technology on the black market. Something happened where their two worlds collide, while Tony trying to keep Peter away from the big bad guy. He keeps pursuing, goes after Vulture. So this is one guy who's out to protect his family. It was really good, guys. There's one scene in particular that I'm not going to spoil, but this scene, guys, is worth the price of the admission for this movie in IMAX. For your mommy, your pappy, your uncle, your nanan, your kid, your dog even. No, this scene was so intense you could actually cut it. Like, it was so brilliant how they did the scene. Kudos to John Watts for putting this in there. Like, the entire audience in my theater was immersed in this one scene altogether, and it felt so special that we all had this ability to bond over this one particular scene. Like, Michael Keaton and Tom Holland, congrats, guys. That was like one of the best scenes I've seen in a movie in a very long time. Okay, yeah, guys, it had a lot of action set pieces in the movie. What really worked for me was that it made what happened to the fairy made sense. I had questioned that within the trailer, but it made sense. Everything that happened in the movie was grounded and didn't happen for show or for fireworks and spectacle. It happened because it felt natural. It felt like this is the overall progression of what would happen if Peter did this, or if Vulture did this, or if one of the other characters did this. And that one made sense. The movie was really grounded. It felt really part of the MCU. It fit nicely into the MCU. They did such a wonderful job. As one thing that it did is that they based it in Queens. All the other versions of Spider-Man, while he was from Queens, he was always in Manhattan, swinging from building to this one. They took the time to base it in his neighborhood, in his backyard. And I really like that because we get to see a dynamic we never saw on the big screen before. How does Spider-Man get around when there isn't any buildings? And you left feeling satisfied. You left wanting more, but you felt satisfied. You did not have any question. You know why stuff happened, right? So yeah, it's a good job with everybody. Hands down, one of the best versions of Spider-Man out there. You guys definitely need to see it. as of right now, filming this video, the movie has already made over $200 million worldwide. I'll come close to crossing $1 billion globally, guys. Because, guys, if you like what you see here, let me know. Comment in the comment section below. If you don't like what you see here, comment in the comment section below. Like, dislike. But there's a button there that says subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. No, no, no.